Hey guys, welcome back. In this new lesson I'm gonna show you 8 ways you can use to play power chords. Now, while this can apply to virtually any style, I think it's gonna be much better for you if you are into rock styles. So let's get started. Okay guys, so we're gonna start small and get progressively bigger. So the first chord we're gonna learn is just your regular 2-string power chord. Sounds like this. We're gonna be playing a root note and our perfect 5th interval. This position you can play virtually anywhere on the fretboard. You can play with a root note on the 6th string, but we can also use at the 5th string and also the 4th string. So this position sounds nice for virtually any style, and it's fairly easy to use and move around. So of course this works perfectly just with a clean guitar like I'm using right now, or if I add some grit. I think you get the idea. The next position we're gonna learn is what I have referred to before as the power chord hack. So we're gonna be playing, instead of a full power chord, we're gonna ditch the root note. We're gonna play just the two higher notes, sorry. So what I am playing is actually the perfect 5th and the octave. Okay, you can play just with 2 fingers like I'm doing now, or you can just use 1 finger. Be careful with which finger you use, with a small bar like this. Now this position is great because it's very easy to move around and you can just switch chords very fast. I could play something like now that was pretty fast, even though you might not have realized. If I were to use the full power chord, it would be like this. You see, I had to move my hand a lot more. So this position you can play around, again, virtually anywhere on the fretboard. I can play it over here, the 5th and 4th strings, as if it were a power chord with the root on the 6th, but I can play it over here, the 4th string and the 3rd string. And also we can play it with the 6th and the 5th string. I will be like this. This sounds quite powerful. If I add some grit, you can see it still sounds pretty okay. next position is a 2-string power chord, similar to the power chord hack we just saw, but we're gonna play it only on the lowest 2 strings, and we're gonna be using a drop tuning. So what I had to do now, my guitar is tuned to standard tune. I have to drop my 6th string from an E down to a D. Okay, that sounds pretty okay. So now I'm gonna play the same power chord hack on the lowest 2 strings. Now this, like we're playing now, is not actually the power chord hack. We're playing just the same notes as the first position, like a 2-string power chord without the octave. So you might be asking yourself, why would I play something like this? Well, I give you a pretty good idea why. Because when you do so, you could play something like this. It's very easy to play the chords in this way if you have your 6th string tuned accordingly. Now, if you want to go especially heavy, you can do something like this. This kind of chord is often used in some kind of music like industrial. You might remember a very popular song from the 90s that went like this. So now the 4th position is going to be our regular 3-string power chord, like this. We're going to be playing our root note, our perfect 5th, and our octave. Now, of course, you can play this position anywhere with the root on the 6th note, 6th string, on the 5th, and on the 4th as well, but remember that we have to put our pinky finger 1 fret above. So this works. Of course, it is a little more difficult to move around fast compared to the other positions, but with a little bit of practice you can definitely pull it off. And of course, if we want to go extra heavy, we can. There are 2 other ways that you can play this position. Right now I was just playing it using my index, my ring, and my pinky finger. But if you want to be able to play this a little easier, you can, 1, use the ring finger to press on the 2 strings below, like making a small bar like this. Notice that I'm using my ring finger to press on these 2. this, and I can move it around just fine. Or there is one other way you can play this that I like to call it the 3-string power chord with odd fingers. I use this position a lot, especially when alternating from the open power chord and maybe a G power chord like this. It works pretty well when you have to make quick changes. So instead, let's say I'm gonna play an E, a G, and an A. What you can do is do like this and move your entire hand, or you can do something like this. And so in this position, what I'm doing is I'm using my middle finger. Hey, yeah, I don't want to push it too far. To press on the octave note, the root note, sorry, and I'm using my pinky with a small bar to play the two notes, the perfect fifth and the octave. What you can do with this is play these two chords really fast, like this. So I'm pretty sure it will take some time for you to get used to this position, because especially when we're not using our index finger on any chord, it sort of becomes much more difficult. But with some practice, I'm pretty sure you'll pull it off. So next up, our fifth position. This is what I call the 4-string power chord with a fifth inversion. Now, we say that a chord has an inversion when we are changing the lowest note from the root note to any other note. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna be playing a normal power chord, let's say here on the 5th string, the root note. This would be a D power chord, but we're gonna add an 8th note, and we're gonna play these 4 strings at once, like this. So if you notice, this A note is the same as this one, which is in turn the perfect fifth of our D. So by playing these 4 strings, we're doubling up this chord and this one. In my opinion, this is just maybe the heaviest chord you can use, so it's especially useful if you want to go metal like this. So next one, our sixth position. This is called the 4-string power chord on the high strings. Now, similar to what I just played, the previous position, we're gonna play in the 4 higher strings. This is what it looks like. So, can you see we're playing actually 2 of the same power chord hacks, but we're playing them together, and it sounds much brighter than, of course, the previous position. In my mind, this is perfect for, you know, like pop rock, and it sort of screams bands like U2 and, of course, In Excess. Who doesn't know this song? So now, our 7th position. This is a 5-string power chord. The way we're gonna play this is we're gonna first start by playing a regular 3-string power chord with the root on the 6th string, like this. And then we're gonna use our index finger like a bar to make sure we can press on the 2 high strings, like this. So we're gonna play the 3 notes from the power chord plus the 2 high strings. Now we wanna make sure not to play the 3rd string, and to do that I'm gonna be muting it with my pinky finger, just touching it lightly. Did you hear it? So in one sweep. Now this same shape can be played starting from a power chord with the root on the 5th string. Let's say here, a D power chord. We're gonna add the top string, the low E string, and we're gonna add the high E string again, using our index finger as a bar. And for this one we want to make sure we don't play the 2nd string over here. And again, you can use your pinky finger to touch it so it doesn't ring. And in one sweep. Of course, this position works just fine if we add some gain. I especially like to use this one starting from a power chord on the 6th string to kind of alternate between the low strings and the 2 high strings, like this. So now on to the last position, the 8th one. This is gonna be our 6-string power chord. To do this, we're gonna combine a 4-string power chord like we already learned with the 4-string power chord on the high strings. Now, this is how it looks like. This position is gonna take some stretching on your behalf, so it might be difficult to learn it at first, but with some practice you'll nail it. So this chord actually gives a very nice sound and very powerful actually, because you have all the strings sounding at the same time. If we add some overdrive, though I don't usually use these power chords on my songs, I like to just strum on it, you know, whenever a song is finishing and everyone just starts playing whatever it is out of their heads, especially the drummers. You know, you could do something like this. Okay guys, that was it. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget that if you want to know more details on this lesson, I'm going to be linking in the description below my article on my website. See you soon guys.